If you're still looking at silver miners the same way as before the crash, you're likely mispositioned for 2026. The reason is simple: miner structure has already shifted, even though price action doesn't look dramatic yet. I'm Aldagio, your technical analyst for gold, silver and copper miners. In today's video, we'll look at the exact conditions under which silver miners could be heading toward new all-time highs in the next couple of months. Let's break it down. Currently watching the silver daily chart, here's the key point most investors missed during the recent pullback. Silver experienced a sharp crash and retracement of almost 50% within a week, but silver miners stopped making lower lows. Even ETFs like SIL, SILJ and SLVR pulled back, but relative to silver itself, they held up unusually well. And that behavior is not random. Normally, miners would underperform silver in a move like this, and the fact that it didn't suggests that miner structure is already stronger than before the crash. Here you can see the silver chart compared to the silver mining ETF chart, which had a correction of currently around 23%, while silver had a correction of 47%. And if this would have made the same amount of correction, it would need to make new lows on the current higher time frame uptrend. And the same goes for silver junior mining ETF. This one to the current time also had a correction of only 25.77%. Of course, this can go lower in the coming days and weeks, and it probably even will, but for it to make new lows on the higher time frame, it would need to make a slightly stronger correction than the silver price itself right now, which would be around 50% compared to currently only 25% to the local lows. Furthermore, when you look at the ratio between the silver miners ETF and the silver chart itself, you can see that since the lows we made, actually historical lows we made on Friday when we had the big silver crash, since then the silver price went even lower, especially just today when we hit $64. But in the meantime, the silver miners ETF still outperformed the price of silver itself. And this ratio compresses everything into one view. Miners are outperforming silver during a correction, and that's not normal behavior. And this is important even beyond the precious metal space. During corrections like this, participation often broadens, and it's no longer just commodity investors, but also generalists capital stepping in. For example, institutions or bigger family offices. And relative strength in miners during a silver pullback is often one of the first signs of that transition. But obviously this setup is not guaranteed. Nothing is 100% a certainty. If silver moves sideways from the current prices and the miners start breaking down significantly, such as right here when we break the higher time frame range low support, let's say silver miners fall below it and retest it from the underside, then it could be a breaking down signal, which means that the silver miners themselves could be breaking down significantly, especially below my outlined support zone right here, which would bring us notably deeper than the current levels. And this higher time frame range with the bullish falling wedge pattern could be invalidated, and we will see a range going way lower than we are forming right now. This bullish structure would then be invalidated, and that would tell us that the market is not ready yet for silver miners breakout and outperformance in comparison to the silver price itself. If you want to follow how this structure develops, whether it confirms or fails, subscribe. I'll update these charts when the market forces a decision, especially when the market forces a bullish decision. I will give you my signal to buy again, or my signal to be looking forward for a nice couple of months of nice gains before we are going to look where we want to sell. And the same way goes for a breakdown as well. And the sentence you need to remember for this current video is that relative strength during weakness is often more bullish than strength during rallies. So let's go to the silver miners and let's go to some other charts where we compare the silver ETFs and the silver junior miners ETF to the S&P 500, to the broader market, and where we can see another few bullish signals for the silver miners themselves. And afterwards, as I already said, we will take a look on silver miners, some explorers, some junior miners, and we will check out a few other fundamental reasons why the silver miners could also be outperforming the silver or the US dollar, obviously, in the next couple of months, especially with generalists' money probably stepping into the market faster and faster. Alright, so let's now head to the silver miners ETF compared to the current gold price. And here we can see that the ratio is also looking really nice. We are forming a nice bullish bottom, okay? This is a long-term bottom which shows us that we are compressing right now, and as soon as this breaks out, this will be going higher fast. And in my opinion, we are currently seeing a nice retracement from the highs, which is right here, where we have obviously local resistance. But on the daily and on the weekly time frame, let's go to the daily, we can see that we're still in an uptrend and that this could be breaking, especially with the fundamental reasons I'm going to show you furthermore in the video. So I expect that the silver miners will outperform the gold price itself in the next couple of weeks and months, and when we break above this local resistance level, it would indicate that we have a shift in the trend on a monthly time frame as well, okay? So we would be seeing for the first time ever, since this chart is available, that we see a higher high, okay? And then we will likely see a higher low as well in the next couple of years if we don't just go straight parabolic, reclaim the mid-level and go to the range highs. But in my opinion, even reaching the mid-level, which is currently a pump from 100% silver miners compared to the gold price itself, this will bring us multiple 10 baggers for the juniors, okay guys? So be cautious and be aware that this can actually happen this year. And the next few weeks will be really relevant for us to tell if the current uptrend on the daily chart actually holds, and that we will see new all-time highs for the silver miners in the next couple of weeks by March or April. We see the same pattern for the silver junior miners ETF compared to the gold price itself. I think I don't have to repeat what I just said. So let's go to the silver miners compared to the gold miners, okay? And when you compare the silver junior miners to the gold junior miners, we can also see a big falling wedge forming right now within, you can say, within a sideways range, where we also have never seen a bullish market structure where we see higher highs and higher lows, okay? Right now we have just seen since 2016 or 2017 that we see lower lows and lower highs. So this is going to be really important as well to see if the silver miners can outperform the gold miners in the next couple of weeks. And if this happens, okay, if this support, this trend line holds with this horizontal support right here, let's draw it like that, okay? So if this support holds and the silver miners break out of this bullish falling wedge, we need to prepare for multiple months of silver miners, silver junior miners in this case, outperforming junior gold miners. And this would bring us to new local highs. So in my opinion, this is really important, and obviously here as well I will keep you updated in the next couple of weeks, in the next coming months, how this develops, how this further develops. So let's go to the silver miners compared to the S&P 500, compared to the broader market, compared to the assets all the generalists are currently investing in. And here you can see another bullish sign that we are within a higher time frame bottom zone, which started in January 2014. So it's already an 11 years long period of sideways action. And we have recently, let's say in December 2024, we have started seeing this uptrend again. And we actually already made higher highs for this chart, okay? The silver miners compared to the S&P 500. Let's go on the monthly time frame. Okay, so we made higher highs. For now, it's just a swing failure pattern. So this could be a fake out, okay? And we could be seeing new lows again, or a pullback into this lower zone of the range lows, okay? Which is this accumulation zone. And if this happens, of course, the thesis would be invalidated. But I will keep you updated for this one as well. Let's go on the weekly chart. So as long as the current uptrend holds, it's pretty difficult to draw it right here because it's not that clean. You can draw it like this, or you can draw it like this. You know, so even more extreme to the upside, the momentum. But nonetheless, as long as this uptrend holds with higher highs and higher lows, so as long as we hold, for example, let's draw it right here, this support zone, okay, this horizontal support, together with this reaccumulation right above it before we broke higher, as long as we hold this zone, we will see a higher low forming and we will go higher, okay guys? So the flip on the chart with the S&P 500, okay, on the ratio between silver miners and the S&P 500 probably already happened. And this is a bullish sign because the silver miners investors will outperform the broader generalist investors in the next couple of months again, such as it did since December 2024. So the generalist investors will take a closer look to the sectors which are outperforming the general market. And in this case, the silver miners, or the gold miners as well, the metal miners in general, are a nice catch, okay? They are something the generalists will take a look on and will most likely start investing in. And I think all of you know that there's so much money inside the generalist assets. So if there's only 1% coming from the S&P 500 into the silver miner sector or into the miner sector in general, this will be so much money which will be pumping the mining market so much higher than it currently is. So this is really bullish so far based on the silver miners S&P 500 ratio. And when we go to the silver junior miners ETF compared to the S&P 500, we can see the exact same picture, okay? We formed, for now, you can say swing failure pattern above the recent lower highs in 2020 on August. But so far, of course, it's in confluence with the mid-level, which is resistance, such as in the other chart. But as long as we hold, here as well, it's almost the exact same picture on the lower time frame too. Let's go and draw it right here on the daily chart currently. As long as we hold this support, okay, this accumulation zone, we are still in the formings of a higher low. Even if we go lower, okay, even if you break it, we have another support zone right here, and this one really has to hold. So this is the scenario where we will see even lower prices compared to the S&P 500, obviously, not compared in dollars. But if this happens, this is the last chance. Otherwise, we see a break in the market structure, okay? We see a low, high, higher low, higher high. And then if this holds, we see a higher low again in order to form higher highs again. But if it breaks, we will have a sign that this is a lower low, which will most likely result into the chart right now forming a lower high and go lower again into this higher time frame support zone right here, okay, into this higher time frame accumulation zone, and maybe we will even reach range lows again. But for now, we have two really good support zones, one right here and the other one is right here, okay guys? So this is currently still really bullish in my opinion, and I wouldn't be afraid of buying silver miners in the next couple of days or weeks if we go even lower. So therefore, let's go to the silver miners prices itself. I selected a few miners which I actually like, and therefore let's go to Silvercorp Metals first. Okay, so I already showed you my chart for Silvercorp Metals. Okay guys, we are still in a bullish uptrend, So as long as we hold this higher low right here, so as long as we don't fall below $7.95, or if we even fall lower, this would be the last zone that needs to hold. Below $6, we would be in a bear market again, or at least it would signal us that we broke the bullish market structure and that we would need to see a lower high forming right here, where we should actually consider selling our mining stocks. But so far the market structure is still bullish. Let's go to Guanajuato Silver, and here as well I told you in my recent videos that I am looking to buying more at those levels at around 0.62 Canadian dollar cents, or even lower if it happens. I don't expect it to happen, but if it happens, at 0.47 Canadian dollar cents, because right here the invalidation for the uptrend is pretty deep. It's pretty deep right here at around 0.3 Canadian dollars. But in my opinion, this would be the last chance. So this needs to hold in confluence with this uptrending support trend line. But so far we are far away from visiting those levels. As soon as we visit them, I will update you on this. So Silvercorp Resources as well, another mining company where I told you that you could be buying here right now, and I expect us to make 2x or even 3x in the next couple of months. But if we hit this range high, I can link the video right here on the right corner. Click it if you want to see what I just said on my previous chart analysis, so you can actually confirm or validate if what I'm saying is correct or has some significance, because I told you that it will most likely appear that we will bounce off from this range high, since this is a big resistance level which we didn't visit since 2020, 2021. And right now the mid level is support in confluence with the previously falling resistance, which also acts as support right now. We are in this critical zone. If we go lower, I would like to see the price holding this sideways reaccumulation zone right above the previous resistance before we pushed higher, and therefore this being a deviation below the mid level, really quick deviation, maybe a few weeks or a few days before we flip the mid level again and retest it as support, confirm this one as support, okay, right here, this was just a deviation, and go higher. And therefore this would also be a higher low, still supporting the current bullish market structure. Let's go on with the next mining company, which is Silverx Mining Corp. And Silverx Mining Corp is also looking good right now. I would love to see us going way deeper, but it will be difficult to see Silver Mining Corp, Mining X, go down another 37 or 30%. I don't expect this to happen. So current prices are, in my opinion, already some good entry prices to start investing portionally, okay? Don't invest everything at once. Start investing in tranches. For example, if you want to invest $1,000 in Silverx Mining, maybe invest 200 right now. If it goes lower, you can invest another 200. If it goes lower, you can invest another 300, and then you have 300 left in case it retests this uptrending trend line in confluence with retesting this previous accumulation right above resistance, which confirms its reaccumulation, now retesting a support going higher, where we would see the market structure to hold and give us a higher low on a higher time frame, on the weekly and on the monthly chart. So let's keep going to the next mining company, which is North Reosurces. North Reosurces currently in a nice buying zone as well, you could say, because we almost retested this diagonal support line, which is still supporting the uptrend right now. So in the next couple of days, if we see some sideways action, this actually needs to give us a nice bounce in order to confirm that the current, this is really important right now, that the current local higher low actually acts as support, okay? Let's draw it like this. So this needs to hold in case to keep the market structure bullish. Higher, higher low, higher high, higher low, next higher high, maybe into the mid level, retest the trend line again, flip the mid-level and go parabolic to those range highs at 1.23 Canadian dollars. Okay, so for SNAG, Silver North Resources as well, exploration company, this needs to hold. Silver North Resources, by the way, in my opinion, nice fundamentals. I recommend you to do your own research on this project. Kuya Silver, currently as well, seems like it's in a redistribution zone before we go lower. So, in my opinion, this one is actually hard to tell. We could even go to 0.55 Canadian dollars again and still hold bullish market structure. Okay, this would still be bullish because we have the higher low right here, higher high, and we would be forming a higher low right here, which is also a retest of the sideways bottom forming zone. So yeah, Kuya Silver, difficult to analyze right now, difficult to say if we see a bigger correction or maybe if this reaccumulation in between could be a nice support, and every time we dip into this zone you could be buying. You can do with this whatever you want, but in my opinion this is a strategy. If we go lower, this is another opportunity to buy again. So let's go to GR Silver Mining real quick. Another one which is currently retesting the trend line, you could say. Let's draw it right here. So we could be going for a retest of the trend line right now. Let's draw it with a dotted line. All right, so we just try to reclaim the mid-level. We weren't able to hold it, so you can see on the daily chart as well. Right now, we fall below, retest from underneath and went lower. And this zone right now where we are currently sitting is a recumulation before we went higher, right above previous resistance. But here as well, okay, you can see that this is the higher low after we broke out of the range lows zone, okay? So GR Silver Mining could also go even lower, break the trend line somehow, but still be in a bullish uptrend because it's still forming a higher low before we form a higher high. And right now, guys, I should have said this earlier, but this silver crash, it was obviously manipulated, okay, to a degree. And it's also happening for the silver miners, not that strong, but also happening for the silver miners. And in my opinion, this is just the big institutional money, the big investors, and the generalists who missed the rally, trying to shake out weak hands in order to buy cheap before we see the next push higher. Okay, so Impact Silvercorp as well currently retesting this really important previous resistance, which turned right now, which should be turning into support. Okay, right here at the range lows. Let's go to the weekly chart real quick. So we are here sitting at a retest of the previous bottom forming zone, which was forming for 4 years straight, so 4 years sideways action. So this previous resistance should actually be strong support right now. If we dip inside, maybe retest this trend line, still hold a bullish market structure, forming a higher low. Okay, this could be a nice entry level if you're fundamentally and chart wise confident and convinced that this project, this company will see higher prices. And in my opinion, a really nice target. Of course, if you're conservative, it would be 0.69 Canadian dollars. But the next target is obviously the mid-level, and after that, the sky is the limit, or in this case, the range high is at 2.5 Canadian dollars, and then the sky is the limit, okay? But so far, we're not quite there yet, so I will keep you updated on this one. And the last company I want to show you is Tier 1 Silver. Tier 1 Silver is also a explorer company, and they are currently sitting still inside the sideways bottoming forming zone, so it doesn't really have a big probability that this trend line support needs to hold, because we didn't break out yet. Okay, we tried to break out, but we came back inside the range. Nonetheless, we are still in a bullish market structure. You were able to see it really nice and clear on the weekly time frame. So this higher low zone needs to hold in order to keep this trend bullish. High, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, retest this previous resistance, forming a higher low again, and then go higher and break out. Maybe with some nice drilling results they could be releasing this year with their drills starting. And that's the sign for us to go to the fundamental reasons which I told you earlier about, that I'm gonna talk to you about right now, why the price of the silver miners or the silver miners themselves are fundamentally in a nice position for the next leg higher. And therefore I'll show you a news release from Guanajuato Silver from the 29th of January this year, and here you can see that they are planning drilling for 2026 of approximately 75,000 meters, and here you can see the infill drill meters and the exploration drill meters on their different projects. And this is just an example for the mining sector, the junior miners, the explorers in general, which tells you that not just Guanajuato Silver is starting to drill massively this year, but also all the other smaller junior miners, all the other smaller, especially smaller explorer miners or explorer companies they're not mining yet, and because they had such big financing last year, the end of the year, November, December, and especially in January this year, there were massive multiple million financing rounds which happened, and the demand was very high, really high, which tells me that smart money, which is investing in such financings with multi-million investments, they're not stupid. And if they invest in financings in January 26, they probably expect the prices of the mining company stocks to be higher by January 27 or for the rest of the year 2026. Otherwise they wouldn't be investing multiple millions into the sector, okay, into the exploration sector. So with that said, with the charts, with the fundamentals, in my opinion, the silver miners are currently in a nice sweet spot of forming higher lows. The silver mining ETFs, the ratios between the silver junior mining ETF and the SP500 or the silver price itself or the gold price or the gold junior miners, is also setting up to form a bullish breakout to keep up the bull market bullish structure, the bull trend. And if this holds, of course this could be invalidated, I told you my invalidations, but if this holds, in my opinion, silver mining investors will have a big smile on their faces by the end of 2026. And as I already said, if you want to be updated on the future developments of the prices, you'll find the updates right here on my channel. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you got some insightful information and helpful chart analysis, and I hope I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.